Hey guys, hope you're all having a wonderful day, and this is going to be a bit of like an off-the-cuff video. I wasn't able to stream today because my internet was terrible, so I thought, I would make some dedicated YouTube content. So yeah, here we go. Today I'm going to go through the main checkmating patterns that every chess beginner should know. And chess beginner can be considered like anybody that's like rated 1,000 and below on whatever site you play on. So yeah, we're just going to hop straight into it now.
It's important to use cocoa butter. It's the key to more success.
Okay, now here we are. This is the first pattern that we have, and it's called Boden's Mate. Boden being the guy who not created this mate, somewhat discovered. So as you can see here, white has two bishops. Usually in a game of chess, you start with two bishops. If you haven't, maybe check your board. So as you can see, this bishop on f4 is covering all these dark squares around the king. Now wouldn't it be lovely if we could also cover the light squares? Well, how about, oh look, we have a light square bishop. Now can you imagine if we brought this bishop all the way over to a6, checking the king? Can you tell me a move that the king has? No. What does that mean? Oh, it's a nice little checkmate, isn't it? So we're going to go do, checkmate. And that's GG. Alright, now that you know this pattern, or this idea that the bishops can sort of like cross over each other, control all the squares to deliver a nice checkmate, I'm going to give you a puzzle here. Okay, so here we are in the puzzle, and you might be thinking, hold on Kai, there's a lot more pieces on here than just two bishops. Well,
Hold up. Wait a minute.
don't you worry about that, the idea is still working. I'll give it a couple of seconds to see if you can find it. It's actually a very, very nice move as well. Okay, so congratulations if you managed to find it. The move is actually knight b4. I'm joking. The move is queen takes c3. And you might be thinking, whoa, what's going on? Well, obviously you're not, because you found the answer. So, what does white do here? Well, king can't go this way because this bishop covers all these squares. You can't block. So, the only thing you can do now is you have to capture the queen. After the queen is captured, oh, would you look at this? All these dark squares are open. What do we happen to have? A dark square bishop. Now, if we were to just place that bad boy on a3, oh look, it's a checkmate. Let's keep going. Next pattern. Okay, so now on to the next pattern. This one is called the Arabian Mate. This is just some very nice piece coordination between the knight and the rook, where the knight covers these squares, and as well as that, it also helps defend the rook, that after we bring it to h7, it's just checkmate. Obviously, the king has no squares. Like I said, the knight helps to defend the g8 square. So, now that you have this idea in mind, we're going to go on again to another puzzle, and now you've got to try and use this idea in the puzzle. Let's go. So here we are in the puzzle. I'll give it a couple of seconds to see if you can find it. Okay, congratulations if you managed to find it. The first move is knight f6, and you'll see why after. After knight f6, black only has one choice. You'll notice that they can't take because that puts them in check, so it's a pin. And nor do they now have the h7 square, which means the king is forced to h8 because we also have a pawn on e6 here covering the f7 square. So now, after black plays king h8, how do we force our position of an Arabian mate? Well, can you imagine that if we got a rook to h7, or if we got a rook to g8, that would, both of those would be mate. So, congratulations if you got this far and you still managed to find the answer. The move is actually rook takes h6. And you'll see now, black has no other option. If you take this, that's just checkmate. Like I said, a rook appears on g8. A rook on g8 is just mate. So, after that, all black can do is block. As you can see, we've got a similar position from before where we had a knight on f6, and now our rook is going to appear on h7, and h7 is just checkmate. Let's keep moving. Okay, so here we are in the third and final position of today's video. And as you can see, the king here is surrounded by his own pieces. And you may notice as well that if we was to check the king, and the piece that was checking the king wasn't able to be taken, it's just checkmate because the king would have no moves. And so, using the small brain you've got in your head there, you can now realize that a knight on f6, it's almost as if it is made for this checkmate. Yeah, checks the king, can't be taken. King is surrounded by his own pieces. And now I'm going to give you the puzzle associated with this idea. Okay, so here we are in the third and final puzzle of the video. And I'll give it a couple of seconds to see if you can find the move. Some good tea. Anyway, for those of you who are able to find it, congratulations. You are a I would say chess genius. You have a slightly larger brain than the majority of the world. So, if you are lucky enough to find it, the move is actually queen takes h7. And if you're playing black here, let's do it from black's perspective. So, black might be thinking, haha, what is this? I'm just going to take your queen, and after knight takes, I'm just going to take that. I'll be up a whole rook and I'm going to win the game. But then we'll go back to white's perspective. And they'll be like, haha, but I have a plan that's going to defeat yours. The king obviously can't take because it's defended by the knight. So the queen is forced to take. And now be careful, you don't want to go into this line because you will lose.
They don't want you to have lunch. So what you're going to do is have lunch.
What have we done now? We've managed to surround the black king with his own pieces. And now we have a square to put our knight we gotta put the king in check and not get our piece taken. So now we've just out-giga-brained black and we've just managed to checkmate him. So yeah, that's going to be all of today's checkmate patterns. There'll probably be a second video to this. I hope you will have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll always be streaming on Twitch every day at 8 PM England time. I don't know what that is. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, like, share the video, and yeah, have a great rest of your day. Peace.